So in today's video, gonna have my best client, Yusuf, uh, who absolutely crushed. Yeah, all praise to him because he actually did the work, and he actually put in, consistent action and made a change in his life and his business. So like 4 months ago, Yusuf was making maybe $2,000 a month, if lucky,
On a
and
good month. On a
on
good
a
month.
good on a good
Yeah.
month. And now last month he almost hit 10K, right? USD. It was like 9,400, something like that. We
Yeah.
fall off really short,
So
but
close.
for sure we're
Still
gonna hit
close.
it like 20, 30K as the momentum you've been building. But yeah, Yusuf, can you tell us more about yourself, who you are, what exactly you do, who you help?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, like you mentioned, my name is Yusuf Menin. Yeah. By birth it's Gerard Menin. When I reverted to Islam, Yusuf is the name I chose as my Muslim name. When I started this coaching program, my main target, my target clientele was recovering addicts because that's where I came from, right? I had a 10-year struggle with pharmaceutical pills, and that 10-year struggle with pharmaceutical pills graduated to harder substances. But alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, I was able to kick all of those addictions away. Once I quit all those addictions, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make this my mission to help people overcome their addictions. So that was my main messaging, just talking about addiction recovery, right? At first, when I first started this, it was very close to heart because it was still fresh for me. That it had at that point it had only been a few months that I've been completely clean, quit all the pills. It was still fresh for me. But then it got to a point where I wasn't really identifying with it anymore. It didn't resonate for me anymore because sure, I came from struggles with addiction, but it just wasn't part of my identity anymore. My faith very much is. That's something that's been growing inside me. As each day goes by, right? But I still stuck to my guns. I'm like, no, I want to help people with addiction problems. I want to help people with addiction problems, and it wasn't working out. Like we said earlier, $2,000 on a good month. When I got $2,000 back then, I was real happy. Now $2,000 is like, man, something is going wrong. You know what I mean? So then when you and I linked up, the very first thing that you told me to do was change my niche. If I remember correctly, you saw me share something on my story. Like I have a separate page for just Islamic poetry. You saw me share one of those, and you said, "Man, why don't you tie that into your messaging? Why don't you target Muslim men?" And then when you said that, it was something that's been in the back of my mind, but I was like, man, no, I can't do that. I'm not the perfect Muslim. I
What
still,
what 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 hold you like back? Actually, I remember it was like hesitating. You were not ready to take
yeah,
that leap of faith in that. What
exactly,
holded you back?
exactly that. It was a false sense of imposter syndrome, right?
Hmm.
The reason why I say false sense of imposter syndrome, because there's nothing for me to feel like an imposter about. Yeah. I'm not out here pretending to be a scholar or an imam. An imam is like a priest in Islam. I'm not pretending to be that. I'm not pretending to be the perfect, flawless Muslim either. But that's what was holding me back. I'm like, man, you're still very much an imperfect Muslim. Who are you to talk about Islam? But then I realized, after you told me to do that, I said, okay, let me think about it for a day. I was sitting one night. I'm like, man, look at where you came from. You used to be this person, very wild, very caught up in his desires and impulses, and now you're a disciplined guy thanks to Islam. Who better to talk about Islam than someone like you, someone who went from being completely dark to now being light? So when I followed your instruction, when I followed your suggestion, it just it changed my page overnight. Yeah, like now obviously all of these vanity metrics like the followers, the likes, that's not the main concern, but it is a good indicator of things moving in the right direction, right?
You have
I
doubled
didn't
your follower count, right?
more than
In
more
views.
than More
more
than,
than.
yeah.
Think you
When
started like
we,
7,000, 8,000, right? Seven,
yeah, it
eight
was
thousand.
around 8.3, 8.2, something like that. Today we're at 19.3, and it's continuously growing. I'm getting like 100 to anywhere from 100 to 500 a day, depending on what I posted, right? So that's huge for me. That's huge for me. Yeah, so first thing I followed upon your instruction was change my niche. That made a big difference. The second thing I followed was when you told me to switch up the content, right? You told me about the different kinds of contents.
Top of
There's
funnel, middle funnel, bottom of
ex
funnel.
exactly. So you have the type of content which is top of funnel that'll bring more eyes to your page. Those usually get the most likes, most views, most interaction. Then you have the kind of content that converts. They might not get as much interaction, but that's specifically geared towards the people who are already following you. You just want to convert them into paid clients. I just followed that breakdown that you gave me, and it made a huge difference, especially when you told me to do more of the simple, talking head videos. That's what changed everything for me. The first talking head video I did with that hook, that's what brought in all of the initial followers. I remember my average view count back then was maybe like 1,000 views, 700 views, right? Average likes was like maybe 20 likes, 25 likes. But then when I started doing those, my religion is peaceful and perfect, my Allah is merciful and compassionate hooks on the videos, now that started going into like the 20K mark, 30K mark, 50K
How
mark,
even
200.
160, right? 200K or
Yeah,
even.
yeah. The one with the most views that I have as of now, the 25th of April, is 250,000 views. That's the most views I've ever gotten on anything. Before doing online coaching, I was I used to make music, and my page had a lot more interaction when I was making music. But even back then, it didn't get anywhere close to 250,000 views, which is it's
Mm,
crazy for me. Crazy for me.
mm,
And as the follower count went up, so did the revenue. Like you
mm.
mentioned, we were this damn close to hitting 10K last month. So close. I had to catch myself, because when I got that last client of March, when I got the last client of March, I think it was like the very last day of March too.
Hmm.
I was like, all right, nice, boom. Let me see how much I've made this month. So it was 9,350. I was actually upset. Can you believe how ungrateful I am, bro? I was actually upset. I was like, what? Just
Before that, it
one.
was like 2K, 2K, yeah, if
Yeah,
lucky.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. I was like, what? Damn, bro. Just like less than 1,000 more. I'm at 10K. I didn't even hit it. Damn, bro. I suck. And then,
Mm.
then I had to catch myself 5 minutes later. I'm like, bro, you just made over 9 grand US. You're living in the
Mm.
Philippines, man. That money goes a long way. Like you said, man, 2K on a good month. An
Yeah.
average month was like 1K, man. There was so many months where I didn't make anything.
Mm.
You know,
But yeah,
you know
let's
what?
let's yeah.
Real
Go
quick, I
ahead.
just want to bring this up. When we first locked in the very beginning in November, man, I was 1 month behind on my rent. And then when December was about to roll in, I was still behind on my rent. I was drowning, man. I was really
But you
drowning.
still you still took that leap of faith. How come? What made you make that decision to like, yeah, just go all in, even if you didn't had money, you know?
Yeah, I didn't want to live with regret, bro. I know, none of us are getting any younger over here. I know I'm running out of time. I'm already in my 30s, yeah. So I'm like, look, man, if I'm not gonna take this risk now, then I don't deserve to complain about anything. Look, I was this close to taking a job in Fitness First over here. Now, the salary of a Fitness First trainer is very low, bro. It's real low. It's minimum wage, which is almost nothing. Yeah, and then you get very low commission each client that you sign up. When the guy was interviewing me, I asked him how much does his top earner make. He said his top earner makes about 50,000 pesos a month. That's working before his shift, after his shift, on his weekends. Just
How
for
much that is
context,
in dollars?
Yeah, just for context, that's less than $1,000, man.
Mm.
$1,000 as of today's exchange rate is 60,000 pesos. So, 50, that's 10,000 pesos less than $1,000. It's nothing. You're giving up all of your time. This close to taking that job, Oscar. I was this close. Like the last second I decided not to. That's when, I was like, okay, Oscar, it's time to start. Let me send you the initial payment because I don't want to live with regret. I don't want to grow old and become bitter because
Mm.
I didn't have the guts to take the chance. So then
Mm.
that's what we did. First month and a half was hard because I was already behind on my rent, but yeah, I haven't had to worry about rent or bills ever since we started, which is a huge relief.
Nice, bro. Happy to hear. I didn't even know that it was that bad.
It was bad, Oscar. Yeah, it was really bad, man. It was really bad, but it's not like that anymore. Alhamdulillah.
Mm. But how long you like? Let's go back. How long you were like doing coaching on yourself before you joined my like kind of program? How long did you do?
January 28th, 2025. So last year, beginning of last year.
Mm. And how did that 1 year went for you? Like, tell me more about. Was the business clear on your side, or you didn't know what the hell
Not
you're
at all.
doing?
Man, not at all. So, okay. The first month had a little bit of momentum, which helped out a lot. Yeah. Uh, in the first month, I was able to get my first 4 clients, but that wasn't big money because, first of all, the rates that I was charging back then was different. Yeah, that's another thing that you helped me with. You made it less confusing. Yeah, let me just bring this up. Before my rates, my offer, I had the basic, I had the premium, and then the basic came in 1 week. Sorry, the basic came in a monthly rate or a 3 month rate, 6 month rate, 1 year rate. Premium came in a monthly rate or a 3 month rate.
It was
That
so
was confusing a
confusing.
lot of, yeah, it
So
was confusing a
confusing.
lot of people. So and then obviously when you have that much to offer, that many different options, they're always going to go for the cheapest one, right? You told me to, switch that up. Now I just offer 3 months on the premium and 3 months on the basic, right? Also, this is kind of embarrassing. Back then there wasn't a real distinguishing point between the premium and the basic. I was also doing weekly calls on the basic as well as the premium. So why would anyone jump on the premium, right?
Mm.
I didn't have the confidence to say, okay, on the basic, this is how much you're paying, but we're only getting on Zoom once a month. Back then, I had the false idea that the value was in the Zoom call alone. Of course, there's
Yeah.
value in the Zoom call, but that's not the end all and be all, right? That's how I was thinking. So the first month I had a good amount of traction, a little bit of momentum to get started, but I offered everything at 50% off. So it wasn't like, 4 months of 4 clients paying me to $4,000 each client. No, it was like 4 clients paying me 375 each. So it wasn't like, that big of a deal, but it was a big deal to me because I got the first 4 clients. The next 3 months after that was silence. I think for 3 months I didn't get a single client, and then I got one more client, and then again followed by another 2 months of silence. So that's
Mm.
how it was. Like
So
one
inconsistent.
month, no consistency at all. Every time I signed up a new client, which was far and few in between, I'd get excited for like 5 minutes, and then after that 5 minutes, I'd get stressed out again because I'd be like, when am I going to get my next client? Is it going to be another 3 months? Is it going to be how do I even get my next client? I don't know what I did to get this client. There was no clear game plan. I was just doing whatever I saw on Instagram. That's it.
Mm.
That's it.
Mm.
So yeah,
Mm.
that
How
that's
does
what the
the
state was.
yeah? How does that made you feel? Like, tell me more about your kind of yeah, yeah, like the
Man,
feeling, when you could like, let's say you get a client, right, and then for the next 2 3 months you don't have a client.
you know what it felt like? When you go to the beach, yeah, and then you see a little fish washed up on shore. He's not all the way in land. He's like at the very end where the waves crash. That's how it felt. So I'm there. no water. I can't breathe. The only time I can breathe is when the waves decide to touch me. I had no idea of how to get to the water. That's what it felt like. It's like I was just waiting. I wasn't making anything happen because I didn't know how to make it happen. All I knew was, okay, I got to post content. But what kind of content? I don't know. Let me just post something. Let me just keep posting, just put my face out there. And then hopefully, by the grace of God, I'll get a client. And and that's how it was, man. Every 2 months, if I'm lucky, one client, followed by 2 months of silence. That's what it was like.
Crazy. But yep, but on the paper, it was like you did all the work, what a coach needs to do, right? You're posting content daily, you're reaching out to people, stories, right? Like you were doing all the work.
That's what it felt like. Yeah, that's what it felt like. But that's the thing. I was doing it with no clear plan. Yeah. Now it's different. Now there's intention behind every post. Now I know that okay, I'm posting this to bring more eyes on the page, and then I'm gonna post this to be more relatable to people, and then I'm gonna post that to convert these people into paid clients. And that's been working out a lot. Having this appointment setter is a huge help as well. That's another thing that you told me to do. Uh, Look,
Because
man,
before
I
that
know
was called outreach, right? Just you
it was,
sending
yeah,
random messages to random people because you were not even getting the required traffic to your page, right? So you were just reaching out to random people like 1 to 2 hours a day, probably
exactly.
people who were not even interested or didn't know nothing about you.
Yeah, man. So look, not only was I not getting traffic, but I was losing followers, right? I was so when I first when I first started my coaching business in January last year, I had around just over 9,000 followers. And then over the course of the whole year, I lost about 800 followers because those whoever followed me, they probably followed me for a certain reason, whether it was the music or whatever. And then when they saw that everything changed, I'm doing fitness, they don't care about that anymore. They didn't want to come to me for fitness. They wanted to come to me for other things. So that's what it was like. But yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I lost track of the question, man. I went off on a tangent.
No, so before, yeah, you were like just doing the cold outreach, right? Through like 50 or 100 people, as every other business coach is asking to do, right? And now you
Yeah.
have like a appointment setter that does everything for you. So
Yeah,
like,
sorry. That's what I wanted to say. So I know that, everybody I know that everyone online as far as the coaching space is concerned, they talk about getting an appointment setter, a closer, this, that, and the third. Yeah, like I was already aware of that. But what you told me to do was, get on these. First of all, you put the pressure to make it happen. Sometimes we need that pressure. Yeah. If I get off a call with you today and you said I need to have an appointment setter, the closer it gets to the next call and I still don't have an appointment setter, that adds pressure for me to happen. So that was a huge help, right? But also one thing that you told me to do was, to get on calls with these appointment setter every day for a week, do some role playing, some training, just let them know about what it is that I do and who I'm targeting. That also made a big difference because as soon as so I had 3 appointment setters that I was doing that with every single day for a week. By the end of the week, I chose one. And because of that, it's like as soon as he started, everything was pretty clear. Like that first week, he already booked out my whole calendar that first week. And I don't know if you remember, but the first week of having that appointment setter, I had 4 new clients. So that was a huge help already because he already knew exactly what kind of messaging it is that I do, uh, how I want it to be done, who I target, and what I sound like when I'm sending these messages.
yeah, I think most coaches think that I'm just gonna bring on appointment setter and like day one, they know me, they know how to book appointments, right? I think that's
Yeah,
like a huge mistake. So it's always good to go with a system, prepare, and like make sure that you are the leader that teaches them how to do the work, right? You can't expect someone else coming in your business and taking over. But yeah, tell me also about your sales. How was
Oh
your
man.
sales before, like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
joined?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So man, my sales was really bad in the beginning, man. And I didn't think the funny thing is I didn't think it was that bad. Yeah. Like I would because the thing is I've never watched the calls like after it's done. I just get off the call, be like, yeah, that was good. Had a good conversation with this guy, right? But that's not what this is about. Yeah. I'm not trying to be their friend, but that's how I approached it. That's how I approached it. That's why I wasn't closing as much. Well, first of all, I wasn't getting that many calls booked. And then the calls that I would get booked, I wasn't closing that much. That's something that you helped me with. Just following the script that you sent me, the little bit of role playing we did helped. Sending you the videos of my recorded calls also helped because then it showed me what I did wrong that I might not have been aware of, right? And yeah, now it's like the calls have a lot more structure, which is huge, right? Which is huge because when there's no structure, there's no authority. When there's no authority, they don't feel like you're the right person to pay. Yeah. And that small tweak, well, it's not a small tweak, but on paper it might sound like a small tweak. Made a big difference, man. Made a big difference. Now when I get on these calls, there's more structure. I know exactly what to press on. I know what to look for, what to keep an ear out for, especially those pains. I don't know if you remember. Well, yeah, you definitely remember. Like there was times before in my previous calls where someone would press on a pain, but then I just switch
Mm,
topics instead of doubling down on that pain, making them realize just how serious it is and what it would feel like to live life without that pain. Once you can put that image in their head, it makes them want that outcome even more. And the more they want that outcome, the more likely it is that they'll, send in that wire.
exactly. Yeah, and like this is I think 99% of actually coaches in the same kind of situation. And I was also I remember when I like switched to high ticket, my price went I think from like I think 900 to like 3K. I got like 12 no's, 12 no's in a row. Imagine how humbling experience it was,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
then I realized, okay, I'm just bad at sales. Like because also before that, it's just sales. Like I'm okay. I know how to sell because I was like I already sold some clients, got some clients. But then when you like, increase prices and you actually need to know how to how to do the sales. And most people think I'm just bad at objection handling, but most people are bad actually at discovery, asking the right questions, not going deep enough in a pain like you, right? Like, yes, you kind of just went through the dun, 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 dun points. You didn't go that much in pain. You didn't discover the real pain. And that's why like people like didn't buy because most
yeah,
coaches as well like they focus just on content marketing, getting the leads more, because everyone is struggling actually with leads, so they just
yeah,
put focus on them, and when leads come in they don't know how to close those leads.
yeah, 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 yeah. It was exactly that. Except in my case, I didn't even know how to get leads to begin with. So it
Everything.
was it was a sinking ship, man. It was a sinking ship. But now we're afloat, alhamdulillah.
Nice. But yeah, so we are 4 months in, man. What has been like kind of biggest change you have seen in your life? I know that we have doubled your followers, increased your revenue. What else?
In my life or in the business?
Both.
In my life, I mean, money is not everything. I understand, but it's very damn important in this day and age, right? That is the biggest change in my life now, where I'm not sure I'm not balling yet, yeah, but I'm not struggling as much as I was. Back then, like I said, just paying the bills alone. I'm not counting, groceries, food, and being able to be alive. I'm not counting that. Just paying the bills alone was a struggle for me, bro. I was very stressed, man. I was always stressed. Just to pay the bills, and then thinking I was always thinking like, man, did I waste all my time trying to be, I was a rapper back then. I was like, did I waste all my time focusing everything on trying to be a rapper just to just to get in the kind of trouble that I got in, and then having to start from scratch over here. Did I waste all that time? Because now, I'm looking around me, people who I grew up with, they have careers going on. I'm still here trying to keep the lights on. This is not the way I want to live. Well, what did I do wrong? Not too long ago, I had a good amount of money. I went and wasted all of that because of who I was as a person. That's what my normal state of being was. Just those thoughts of regret and, oh, should I have done this better? Should I have done that better? Now it's not like that. Now there's a clear sense of where I'm going. Yeah, the fact that I don't have to stress about the bills anymore is huge. The fact that uh, I can, man. Last year, my girlfriend's birthday. Yeah, keep this out of the call. I don't want keep this out of the interview. I mean, I don't want people knowing about my girlfriend. But last year, my girlfriend's birthday, I wasn't able to do anything for her. I wasn't able to buy her a gift or nothing, nothing. Right? That sucks as a man. That sucks as a man. And you start thinking like, should I just leave this girl because I'm no good for her? I can't even take care of her. Like, okay, maybe I'm putting like the bare minimum on the table, but she deserves more than the bare minimum. She's better off without me. That was my train of thought. Yeah. But now it's not like that anymore. Now you feel better as a man being able to provide properly, right? Sure, I'm not buying her Goyard bags anymore, or like, Gucci bags anymore. Now, not spending like that anymore. But at least, you know, like she needs new running shoes. Okay, boom, go get your new running shoes. Or you need your phone fixed. Okay, go get your phone fixed. Just those small things, it makes a big difference in your self-esteem. That has been the biggest change for me. The fact, and obviously it wouldn't get to there if the business didn't start doing better. Of course, right? Now, in terms of the biggest change in my business, man, the leads is what having this amount of leads coming in every day is helps a lot. Having the appointment setter doing his job helps a lot. The only reason why he's able to do his job is because I did what you told me to do and do that 1 week of training. So he's very familiar now with, like, sometimes when I read the messages that he sends, he's not Muslim, but he sounds Muslim. I'm like, man, you're using the Islamic terminology perfectly, brother. That's huge. The sales system, obviously, if your sales is no good, you can get all the leads you want, but you're not going to get no money. That helps. So as far as the business is concerned, everything that you told me to switch up, those small things made huge differences. So yeah, man. Yeah. Everything is 4 months later, everything is a lot different to what it was 4 months before, not just in the business, more importantly, in my life as well. I mean, it was pretty cool that last year I was able to go on a quick little holiday and still get paid. It was a good feeling. As soon as you arrive in the Airbnb, you get that notification that $1,000 was sent to you that just paid for the trip. It's like, all right, sick. This is a free trip then.
Sick, bro. Sick, 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 sick. So do you regret joining the program?
Absolutely. No, definitely not, bro. Definitely not. Do I regret it? No, definitely not. I would have regretted not joining it because, man, just the thought of now I being in the same situation I was last year now, just that thought, yeah, it scares the crap out of me, man. I don't want to feel like that again. And it's not like that. Alhamdulillah.
Nice, brother. Yeah, I think you done it as well. Yeah, like I'm not taking any credit on my side. Yes, I give you information. You go through my kind of program, right? We have this conversation, but at the end of the day, like it's all you, So credit to yourself as well, to you.
My brother,
So,
my brother.
but also, like, what? Let's say someone else is in your shoes, also an online coach who's kind of struggling. What kind of advice you would give them?
Invest in a business coach, man. Invest in someone that's done what you want to do, because that'll just speed the whole process. If you try to just figure it out on your own, I'm not saying you can't do it. Yeah, there's all the information in the world out there. If you try to figure out on your own, it'll take longer, first of all. Secondly, because of those back-to-back losses that you might experience, you might end up quitting. You never know because you got to be able to take care of yourself. And if nothing's working out for you, you might want to look at other options. But then if you do that, you decide to get employed instead of taking the risk in this, you're gonna end up bitter. You need a business coach to walk you through the process, tell you exactly what he did to get the results. Because if it worked for him, it'll work for you. You just need to follow the instructions. Sure, maybe having to invest at first might be intimidating because you might not have that much spending power if you're struggling as much as I was. But it's funny how God really makes things happen for you when you show that you have complete faith in the process. You need to take that risk. You need to take that risk. No risk, no reward. No reward, no joy. So it's up to you. Do you want to live a life feeling fulfilled, a life full of joy? You need to take the risk. You need to go through that scary part at first, right? If you're not willing to go through that scary part, then don't complain about how things are going well for other people and not for you, because they might have taken the risk where you didn't.
100%, bro. Can relate to that as well. Like I've invested as well in mentors, coaches. I remember myself when I started to decide as well. At that time, I was studying in Netherlands University, and I was like washing dishes in a cafeteria. I didn't had any savings. Luckily, my grandma was like saving money on the side, so it was like maybe 2 or 3 thousand euros. Maybe in USD, it's like more than 3,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said like whenever you need the money, you can like take it, and like I could like take that money, right, and I don't know, blow it on travel or just buy some stupid shit what I didn't needed, what I didn't need it, but I took that money and bought like a course.
Yeah.
That was like 4 years ago, just a course. It was no mentorship, was nothing, no live calls. It was just literally like papers of information, but
Yep.
because I invested like all that money, I had the skin in the game, and like I just wanted to make it happen, also first time investing in something big. And yeah, I think a couple months later got my first clients, and like business was going, got some more money, invested into a real mentor. And that's I think the fastest way to grow. Like maybe if I wouldn't invest that money, right, would start to travel, I wouldn't be where I am like today. Maybe I would still just watch YouTube or try to figure out things on my own.
Absolutely, man. What you said is huge. The skin in the game part. When you're struggling and you invest in that mentor, and it's a big sum compared to what you have. It's actually an advantage because that fear factor, the fact that damn, I just spent this amount and I'm not exactly swimming in money right now. That plays to your advantage because like you said, the more skin in the game you have, the more likely it is that you actually do what your mentor is telling you to do because you need it to work out. Because if it doesn't work out, well, you just spent that money for nothing and now you have nothing.
Exactly, bro. And yeah, what was the experience working with me overall? Not only just, let's say, business strategies, scaling business. How did you find it out like during these last months?
Smooth, man. Smooth. I mean, obviously, you did your job as a business mentor. You told me the right things. I know that they're the right things because as soon as I implemented them, the results just yeah. It's funny, bro. Everything you told me to do, as soon as I did it, it was like a really quick return on investment. It was like that. It was like that. Remember when you told me to do the talking head videos? I think after a week of you telling me to do that, then that's when it started to pick up. The first video with the hook, you kept telling me to add a hook. The first video I did with a hook, that went viral compared to what I usually get, right? And then that brought in a lot of people. So yeah, you obviously did your job as a business mentor, but other than that, working with someone like you is also beneficial in the sense where you don't need to look too far for inspiration, right? Because obviously you're doing well with your business. You've achieved the kind of numbers as an online coach that I want to achieve, right? So that's obviously that's one thing to keep in mind. But also you're doing all of this while running damn Ironmans and like the whole thing about your Ironman where you prepared however long it was to swim, only to end up running and then still doing it. Being close to people like that, I think it's important because it pushes you. It makes you realize that you can do more than what you're doing. So there was that impact as well. It wasn't just what I paid for. I mean, yeah, I can definitely say that. So I've fought in kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai, right? Never fought in MMA before. Completely new to MMA. MMA also involves grappling on the ground. I have no experience in that. But when you did your Ironman, I'm like, man, I want to do something. It's been a while since I did something challenging. Yeah, I want to do something challenging that's scary. Because Ironman, it's scary stuff because it's going to be grueling for however long it is, right? So because of that, that definitely played a part in my decision now. Like recently, I started doing MMA because I want to fight in MMA. I want to just at least once, And that's one thing that I also took out from this program, which is completely unrelated to business, right? But I do feel like it could impact my business in a sense where, nowadays you can monetize inspiration, right? So just documenting the journey and then, I think it will help in that sense. But, as far as me as a person, me going back to doing more scary things and stuff like that. Yeah, seeing you doing your stuff helped me make that decision.
Nice, bro. Yeah. Well, also, yeah, I've seen you like crushing your workouts as well. You did during Ramadan as well, right? For a whole month, documenting your kind of journey. I think that's also powerful. And here again, it's a great reminder, right? That like people buy from people.
Yeah.
Right. I think everyone like share more about yourself as well, not just the fitness coaching tips. Here are 3 tips how to lose body fat. Right. Everyone is like, already tired of that. Right. But where you share your kind of struggles or things you are now working on or challenging yourself, like that resonates more. Like that resonates. And here as well, you resonate with me likewise as well. So also how you do one thing is how you do everything. Right. Let's say when you challenge yourself physically, you also gonna challenge yourself in business as well. Gonna tackle even bigger things.
Yep. And also when I see these nice ass Airbnbs you're staying in, bro, like you know what I mean? It's like cha-ching, dollar signs in my eyes. I'm like, I need to get me a place like that. I need to do what Oscar says.
More than welcome. Pull over to Bali, bro. Pull over to Bali.
Man. Inshallah.
But yeah, brother, thank you so much for your time today. Amazing story. I know this is just a small beginning. It's just been like 4 months for you and such a huge growth, like in personal brand. But I think the biggest kind of lesson what I have seen or from your growth, yes, money is nice, the followers is nice, kind of growing. But I feel like you as a person, you are way more aligned, right? You have bigger purpose now in your life, right? It's not anymore just like kind of anymore business, but I think it's now you are example for your clients, for the people that follow you, right? And I think it's even now more motivating for you to show up. You're not anymore just a fitness guy, right? Who does the addiction things, right? Kind of struggles, right? I think now you're like how that identity completely changed.
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. Yeah, well, yeah. Changing my niche, like you told me to in the very beginning, that's also even that it's deeper than just, the business. It also helped me with my faith. Now, I was already, doing what a Muslim should, praying 5 times a day, fasting for Ramadan, all of that stuff. Yeah. But it's only strengthened it even more. Yeah. Like I'll give you an example. Like the other day, like a few weeks ago, I posted something, boom. And then it was time to pray. but I was a bit lazy. I was like, all right, I'll pray in an hour. I still have time. But then the fact that I posted a certain thing talking about faith, I'm like, man, you can't be a hypocrite. You're not doing anything right now. You're just being lazy. Just pray now, because you know you gotta live what you're talking about. You live by example, especially when no one is watching you. So that it really helped in that sense as well. It's not just monetary. It's not just not worrying about the bills. Also helped me with my faith.
Yes, amazing, my brother. Yeah,
My
again,
man.
bro. Thank you so much for your time today. And again, I don't take credit on myself at all. Yeah, I just give what has worked for me. You know what I have done. But you did all the work. You took action. You took the leap of faith. So again, yeah, respect to you, man, and excited to see what's gonna happen in next few months.
Same, brother. Same, same,
Yeah,
same. My man. Thank you for everything, Oscar.
yeah, for sure, brother.